Hi everyone, it's Nathara, and today I'm going to be going over the Encore Scene Pack Cherry Deal. This one does come with two scenes. The first thing we need to get out of the way is whenever you purchase this pack, the only thing you get is the pack contents right here. You do not get the display outfit. So today I'm going to be going over the Chat Bubble Sweet Blossom, the Still Pose Heartbeat Aim, the two scenes, Melt and Clear for Falling Cherry Date, and of course the dynamic pose Heart in Love. Alright, so first up, I'm just gonna show you the difference between the two scenes, Melt and Clear. It is just the lighting that is the difference. So right now we're on Clear, and this one is Melt. And here's a side-by-side, so you can really see the difference between the two, because I know it's kind of hard to see that whenever I'm just like flipping through them like pages. Like you need to have them like right next to each other to actually be able to see the difference. Melt is more muted and Clear is more vibrant and purpley and pink. So I'm just going to stay inside of Clear to showcase this scene. I like this one a bit better because I like the vibrancy, and I'll go ahead and get this out of the way. I hardly use this scene. It's just not one of the ones I use all that often. So it is kind of just like a little alleyway with those few cherry blossom trees sprinkling leaves down. I can't remember how far off the top of my head, and I haven't gotten to the posable area part yet, but all these buildings back here are 3D assets. These ones back here might actually be pictures. Something about that balcony is looking pretty suspicious, but at least I know the one with this HVAC unit on the top is a 3D asset. But ooh yeah, that's definitely a picture back there. But everything up here is definitely 3D assets. And again, this scene's kind of so big, and because the buildings are all in the way, I can't really show you a definite picture of what the posable area looks like. But this is as far forward and to the left as you can go. This is as far forward and to the right. And this is as far forward as you can go from the starting position. So it does look like you can go a lot more forward whenever you're off to the side, but you really can't. Let me reset her, and she can go quite far back. She does start floating now, and you dive into the buildings. So if you go to the right again, so you can be in this building, like I said. You can, let me see. Ooh, wow, she can go really far back. Much farther than I ever thought possible, but the scene does take a really deep dive down this alley. So let me see what the sink is. So even if you were to push her all the way back, she'd still be floating back there because the sink isn't low enough to put her on the ground. I got stuck on the bicycle. Oh no, this is just as far back as your camera can go. I thought I went way further back last time. Let me see. Ooh, wide cam is so hard to control. So you can get shots back here if you really want to, but it is, there's just not much back there. This being as far back as you can go, you can be all inside of these buildings and on top of them even, because if that's your sink, then your height measure is... So she's up really high. I can't even get my camera to go up that high, which sucks. The camera posable area and the doll's posable area in this one has a very big distance between that, so that's a little different and out of the norm. I don't know, I don't think I'm stuck on anything. No, I just can't go any higher. But one of my favorite things to do is be able to, because you can go so high in this scene, I do like to pose on all the balconies and just give it that, you know, like super city look, because these balconies actually look really good. They're not just like pictures and everything. They look, and they match like the doll's size and everything, at least my doll. I don't know how this scene looks with a girl's doll, but I'm silly, I can actually just show you. So there it is for a girl doll. Still not bad, but she does kind of hit the, she's barely staring over the balcony's edge. But this scene is good for the balcony shots, and if you ever want to pose on the rooftops, like with the HVAC or something, you can also be on the light pole for any of you who want to cosplay Chi from Chobbits. Also, this makes me laugh every single time. It just says, "This is a road sign." Like, yes, thank you. I'm not sure if they meant to have that translated into something else from like Chinese or what, but that's always funny. What does this one say? Tell her I love you, love spring, tea party. I read that as you ale beautiful, but I know it's supposed to be you are beautiful, but the umbrella makes it look like an ale. And then bright day. All right, well, nothing's too weird on that one. A shame. It's always good finding those weird little translation things. Of course, they've got their own posters on the walls. This is the lighting from the front. And here's the lighting from the right. This is the lighting from the back. And this is the lighting from the left. This is the lighting on the lightest and darkest shade in the game from Melt. They both look great. I have no complaints for these whatsoever. They look fabulous. And the same goes for Clear. They both still look great. I can see all their definition and everything. So again, yeah, no complaints. And here's our still pose. It is a half-length pose, but here it is in whole body form. I do think this one is pretty cute. I like that her feet are even like stanced out and it's not just like your typical upshot and they didn't do anything with the feet. I like how it turned out. And plus it's just a cute pose overall, you know, the little handgun, that's adorable. And here it is with focus on. So there it is with just a right hand, which is how I mostly use this pose. I get the one lower one down and you know, it just kind of looks like she's pointing a finger like you're next, you know? Instead of the other one with the hand under, it makes it a little bit more cutesy, which is good in some terms too. A two-hand held. This one is pretty good if you have a cutesy expression on and a really cute outfit. I like that her toes are a little bit pigeon-toed and everything, just adds to the cute factor. Though her expression right now kind of like takes away from that incredibly hard. And this works even with a left hand held. It kind of just looks like she's asking for something, you know, which can definitely be good for poses if you're trying to get, if you've got like a Wi-Fi session going on and you're just trying to have one character ask for something from another. And here's the dynamic pose without the dynamic camera on, but you can, I don't think the dynamic camera moved around too much on this one, so you can kind of see what the movement's like to begin with, but it's always good to have a still camera version of it too. Lots of super cutesy little poses in this one. All of them are very adorable. Now, as for our expression for Heartbeat Aim, she does just kind of look up, but her lip almost curls, I think? Like, hold on. No, maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm just imagining it. She does purse her lips just a little bit, and then she looks up. So, I mean, there's not really, I don't use this expression for anything. I always actually change it out. So there's that. And here is our heart and love expression. She just puff out her cheeks once. I didn't get that cute, like, little hamster pose that one time. It just reset. Oh, gosh, I can't stand that. So I do look for poses where they poof out their cheeks to be cute. I think that's really adorable. So I'm glad that this one has it. And then that little wink right there is cute. And this is one of the poses. In the beginning, they didn't really give us, I like this end one right here. But in the beginning, they didn't really give us mouth like expressions where they actually opened the mouth. And especially where they showed the teeth. Like, this was kind of an oddity. We have a lot more now, so I can't say this one's unique anymore. But whenever we first got this, I was impressed with it. And there's actually a little kind of sad expression in this cutesy one that I go towards sometimes. And let me see, I don't think I use this one for much of anything else. Also this, I think that's cute. But those are about it for that expression. that I use. All right, and now I'm going to click through the filters so you can see how you might be able to change the ambiance of the scene. I am on clear right now, but I will go over melt after this as well. And here's the vignette, and we're still on clear. Our halo. DOF. White balance. Ooh, goodness. Saturation. And your contrast. And now this is melt with the filters. And this is the vignette. And your halo. And your DOF. And your white balance. And our saturation. And our contrast. And I have never found any hot spots within this scene. You are just kind of outside to begin with, and I haven't been able to find any lights or anything, but again, I don't use this scene very often, so I could just not have stumbled upon it. And I did already go over how I use this scene, like with the balconies, so that's pretty much my main posing areas for it. But of course, the scene is good for just right here as well. Also, I forgot to show what the sink looks like all the way up here. You can go all the way underground because the sink is so low to make up for the fact that the street like dives down. So you can actually zoom out and then find your doll underneath the city. So let me see if I can get down there with her. No, because the 3D camera is mashing with the objects of the 3D scene, you can't actually get any further down, but you can get down here, oddly enough. And here's our chat bubble, and I think one of my favorite parts of this chat bubble is that there is a background that matches it exactly, so you can make it look like there is no chat bubble and your text is just around the flowers, you know, like I think that's really cute. And of course you can use that like weird hex code cheat to change the font color if you want to make it white or whatever. That's what I would prefer it be with this chat bubble. I don't really like the black, there's too much contrast and I'm not about that, but again, I like that it pairs well with this little bunny background. I think that's adorable. And plus, flowers are always pretty. Alright, that is everything I have for the Cherry Deal scene pack. I hope you found this helpful and useful in deciding if you would like to add it to your collection or not. And as always, I will talk to you later. Bye-bye!